Hey guys, so welcome to another episode of the show. Now, if you're watching this interview anywhere else but within our private community called High Ticket Client Attraction Insider Circle, be sure to come join us. We just went past 5,900 members, so we're growing pretty fast. So if you're any type of coach, consultant, service provider who's serious about scaling to that 7-figure level, be sure to click on the link. Come join us. We'd definitely love to have you. Now, with that being said, today's guest is Mia Bolden. Welcome, Mia.
Hello, thank you.
Awesome. You're welcome. So Mia, tell us, you said, where are you located?
I'm in beautiful Pensacola, Florida. We're in the panhandle of Florida.
Awesome. Are you born and raised back there? Is that where you've lived your entire life?
I grew up between here and Hawaii. My mother's Hawaiian, so half of my family is over in Hawaii and between here in Florida. So good weather either way I went. So I'm very blessed about that.
Yeah. Man, Hawaii sounds pretty nice right now. Do you go back pretty often?
Yes.
Do you visit quite a bit?
Um, I have not been back probably in the past 5 years now, which is sad. But one of those things, I started my business about 5, 6 years ago, my fitness studio. So it's kind of like other people that start businesses. You're
Hmm.
like your head is down, you're focused on the business and things like that. And you look up and you're like, whoa, but definitely planning on getting back there again soon.
Yeah, definitely. Awesome. So tell us, Mia, what is it that you do?
Well, as far, just like I said, I do own a women's fitness studio here in Pensacola, Florida. But I am also an empowerment coach, and I
Hmm.
help women really discover their true passion and purpose. And I tell people to turn that into a profit, either with coaching, retreat leading, or speaking engagements.
Hmm. Okay, good. Now with the fitness studio, you said, has COVID-19 affected it at all?
It has absolutely, and it's crazy. I've been in business now with my fitness studio for 6 years,
Hmm.
but I moved into this new location. I'm actually here at the studio now. I moved in this new location. We had our grand opening March the 8th, and I had to close down the following week after that. So,
Oh,
and we've been
goodness.
closed down ever since. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And you said right now, in terms of what you also do as well too, is you're a women's empowerment coach.
Correct. I'm a
Mm.
women's empowerment coach as well. And I tell people one thing, I'm very blessed and very grateful that I did have this business as well, because with the studio being closed down, at least I'm able to continue my business and do this side of coaching and things like that. So.
Yeah. So how did you get started as a women's empowerment coach? What got you interested?
Okay, well, so I got started with that. It actually branched off from the studio.
Hmm.
The women that would come in here, we just got really close over the years, and they would start opening up to me, about, just all kind of things that they had going on in their life. And I started just working with them, not even knowing that I was coaching them, but really giving them like how I turned my life around, how I was able to start my business, how I was able to better myself, and I just loved doing that. And then I had a colleague of mine, she just mentioned, have you ever thought about becoming a coach? And at that time I was like, no, I didn't even know what coaching was. And
Hmm.
so I looked into it, and I was like, that's what I feel like I was doing with the ladies at the studio. So I went and got certified through ICF, through the International Coaching Federation. And then from that, it just kind of blossomed into where I'm at now. I'm doing the coaching, and I do host women's empowerment retreats and things like that.
Right. So is your business mostly virtual, or is it in person as well, or a combination of both?
It's a combination of both, but coaching is definitely, most of that is done online, because I have ladies that are all over the world, which very blessed and grateful for that. And then my retreats and things like that, speaking, of course, we do that in person.
Yeah. Okay. So what does women's empowerment coaching look like? How does what type of problems are you helping coach individuals on?
Well, the first Yeah. Well, the first thing is women, because I specialize in helping women discover their passion and purpose. And that's what I really focus on, is the ladies that come to me is they feel like something is missing in life. Like I
Hmm.
feel like I should be doing more, or they're on a job where they just feel stuck and they don't feel like their true talents and their true purpose is being utilized and things like that. So the first process is I take them through the process of, oh, okay, let's really discover and hone in what your true passion and purpose is. And then from that, I teach them ways that they can become a coach off of that, or do online courses, or some ladies have done retreats and speaking engagements. And I know a lot of people, when they hear coaching, they think of just, life coach, business coach, financial coach. But I've had ladies go through my program that's everything from a grievance coach, a sobriety coach, a acting coach, a dance coach, and they were doing like online coaching programs and things like that online because they didn't know that that's something that they could actually coach and teach on and do programs on and stuff like that.
Yeah, that is so powerful because I
Mm-hmm.
know a lot of individuals, they have knowledge, they have life experience, they have something that they've done, an experience where they could now take that and turn that into a business. So it's fascinating that you help others discover that as well too. So what do most individuals, when they come to you, what are they typically at in their life? Are they maybe at a job? Have they started their business? What are they typically at?
Yes, they have pretty much, like I said, I do have a book. It's titled How to Discover Your Life's Purpose After 30. And
Hmm.
that's pretty much, I say right after 30, somewhere around there, I don't know, I feel like something clicks and they feel like I've been doing this job and I'm not getting anywhere. Or I've been in this marriage and I just seem like I'm doing the same thing over and over again. So they come in with the initial purpose, goal of really finding something else, something more to do, something to fulfill. I say that intuition that we just naturally have as human beings. They feel like there's something out here more for me. So that is definitely, those are the women that typically come to me. And then once we, discover that, and I teach them that you could teach somebody else how to overcome the things that you've overcome. And they're like, I didn't know I could do that. And then we start the progress of, well, do you want to coach with that? Do you want to become a speaker with that? Would you like to host retreats? And it's so funny, the group, while I'm thinking about it, they're all the group that I have right now. I run a program called From Powerless to Impactful. And
Hmm.
the group that I have right now, the ladies that are in that group, they've all started a business around different things, but experiences that they've been through, like you mentioned. One, she's a new mom's coach. That's what, she's overcome. She had a lot of anxiety, a lot of problems with becoming a new mother.
Right.
The lady who's coach, she lost her child, and she went through a lot of stuff with that. I have a lady who's a gardening coach, and she's getting ready to start hosting gardening retreats, and people just are like, I didn't know that I could do these things. So
Hmm. Yeah, that's so
mhm.
powerful. Because I know that I help clients do this, some of the similar things you help them do as well too. But I noticed that one of the biggest challenges most people have, especially when they want to get started, is they just don't feel like they have something to give. And just based on
Right.
what you share with me here, it seems like a lot of what you share and help them with is crafting that story as far as, hey, what's your story? What are you good at? What's been your journey? And based on them sharing their journey, then knowing that, okay, someone probably out there has a similar experience or someone has a similar struggle, why don't you kind of help them with that? And I think that's so powerful. I was talking to a good friend of mine, and he said what his business is around is just that story. So do you help individuals craft their story as well too?
Absolutely. That's a part of one of our modules that we actually do working with me, is actually crafting your story of where you've been, where you're at, and how you can impact the next person with that story and become impactful.
Hmm. Lovely. Now,
Mhm.
what about the book you said, Discover Your Purpose After 30, you said? How
Yeah.
long did it take you to write that book?
Yeah. I'm sorry, say that again.
How long did it take you to write the book?
It took me a little bit longer than I anticipated. It took me about
Mhm.
6 months, but honestly, it was because I didn't like just focus on it. I was still having the fitness studio, my coaching. I did the book right when I was getting ready to go to Bali. I did a women's empowerment retreat in Bali the end of last year. I
Right.
did most of my writing actually there because I was able to sit down and really focus on that. So it took me about 6 months.
Yeah, not bad, not bad. Yeah, my friend, I know I have a good friend, Shelly Jorgensen. I mentioned her name so she could come watch this interview as well too. But she invited me last year to a castle over in Ireland, and one of the things over there is they all wrote books back there, and now they're like flashing the books everywhere. And I'm like, man, I should have gone, but I was so busy I couldn't make it. Yeah, but that's good that you got a book though.
Right.
Well, in terms of, I guess with
Well,
books,
it's never too late. You can write that book.
was that?
I said it's never too late. You can still write that book.
Yes, yes, and that's going to be one of the stories I have in there. How I missed an opportunity to go to Ireland to write this book, right? Yeah. So in terms of so how do you balance it all? Because as you said, you have the fitness studio, you have the women's empowerment coaching, and how did you balance it all when before COVID-19 and everything? Did you kind of do them both simultaneously?
I did. I definitely did them both simultaneously. And I tell people this all the time because I have ladies that ask me, because they see me speaking and doing all these engagements and retreats in the studio, and they say, how do you do it all? And I tell them honestly, I don't do it all. I got to a point where I had help. I had, instructors that came to teach at my studio. I got a VA that would help me with a lot of my stuff and my coaching when it started getting very busy and things like that. And so there, I'm human. There's times when I would be so focused on a retreat or a new program or something like that, that sometimes something would slip at the studio, but then you just refocus it and you go back to handling that problem. So I tell people that all the time. Don't think that when you see somebody and they're super successful and you're like, how do you do it all? They have a team behind them. They're not just doing it all by themselves. So don't be
Yeah.
ever afraid to ask for help, is one thing I tell people too.
Exactly, exactly. And that's one thing I realized most entrepreneurs, they don't with the team. Most of them try to do everything on their own. I don't know what it is. I run into a lot of entrepreneurs, that's really how they are. Just I just
Yeah,
want to do everything. And they never want to surround themselves with pretty good people. And I just like right before the interview, like literally I was getting with my team and just planning out what we need to do next. It's like such an exciting experience to have a team and to be able to delegate and hand things off to where you only do what you're the best at and don't have to worry about the other things that you're not good at, get somebody else to do it. It's really empowering. um, so the next
absolutely.
question, yeah, the next question becomes in terms of how do you what a question I'd like to ask is like what do you believe, like, are you introverted or extroverted? What would you say?
I, that's so funny. I just did a video on this. I consider myself an extrovert introvert.
Mm-hmm.
So I love to get in front of the crowd. I do love to speak. I love, the whole empowerment, networking, things like that. But I do love my quiet time as well. I feel, sometimes when I go to these events or if I'm out networking or doing a lot, like my mind is like, I feel like I need to go home and kind of recharge myself. So I definitely go home and I have to do my meditation. I might do my journaling and, really focus on me for a couple of days because my energy's just been depleted out there. So I consider myself like an introvert extrovert. It's
Yeah. Okay. And what
yeah.
about with individuals who want to start businesses, a coaching consultant type businesses? Do you believe that it's for a certain type of individuals? Because I know some people, they're just really, really shy. They're like they're just afraid to put themselves out there, and others they're really extroverted. And I know most individuals who are pretty shy and timid and stuff, they don't want to put themselves out there. There's a bit of fear. So what do you believe about that? Do you believe anyone could be a coaching consultant and become successful? What are your thoughts?
Absolutely, because I do have some of my clients that are introverts. They're very shy. One of the things I take them through is building the confidence in your business, getting comfortable in front of camera, and things like that. And I tell them, don't try to be like me because I am very energetic when I get, speaking and motivating. That's me, but I attract that tribe. And I tell people you need to attract your tribe. Your tribe might be other introverts that want to talk to somebody that's not like me and all over the place. And they might want to, so I absolutely believe across the board, it's for everybody. And you'll attract the people that are meant to be attracted to you. And they're pretty much will probably be like you, which is a good thing as well. So absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. And what's that big vision for you that you have for your business right now as far as the direction, the path you're headed?
Well, my big vision is definitely continuously empowering these women. I tell people I love traveling the world once all of this craziness is over with, but definitely traveling the world and helping women really discover their true passion and purpose. And I like to say, go out there and rock it out like a boss and really sharing their gifts with others so they can help uplift them as well. So that is my thing. I just don't, if I can just get out to as many women that you don't have to just live the same day over and over again, especially if it's something that you're not passionate about. I believe that we are all born with a true gift, a true, purpose here in life. I tell people my man upstairs or whomever your higher power is, I believe has blessed all of us with some type of natural gift. And if I can get out here to as many women and men, and get them to really discover that and walk that purpose, that is my huge vision. That's what I just desire to do as much as I possibly can.
Hmm. Lovely. That is so awesome. I think as coaches and consultants, these are the individuals who change the world, because I believe that a lot of individuals, there's two types. There's individuals who they criticize others, and then there's other individuals who just say, hey, here's how I see things could be better. Here's how I think things could be improved and stuff like that. And you definitely sound like someone, and I can see how the empowerment comes into play, because you definitely sound like an encourager. You're not someone who goes around and says, you can't do it, you can't. It's more based on, hey, it's possible. And I love coming from a place of possibility. So what would you say in your life, are there any skills that you think that, well, not really are there any, because I know there's probably a lot of them, but is there one specific skill you think that kind of just help you create the success that you currently experiencing right now? Is there one out of all the ones you've kind of developed? Is there any one you'd say?
Uh, that's a tough question. I would just say really just this one skill that I naturally have is I am a people person. So I will say that skill has definitely just helped me out just across the board. And just a believer in other people. I tell people that all the time, that's a skill that I have because I needed that even when I didn't believe in myself. So I have the skill of believing in somebody, even when they don't believe in themselves and they don't think that they can do it. I really push and I motivate that you can do this and you got this and you can be the best that you want to be. And some people just, they say they're attracted to me because of that. So I would consider that a skill.
Yeah. And what about, so some one you mentioned was you're a people person. What do you mean by a people person?
So I am one that I can get along with any type of crowd. Any type of crowd, background, ethnicity, age, everything. I've always been big on diversity, so I'm one that I love. I can adapt to whether I'm in the boardroom, the playground, wherever I'm at. I can just adapt to where I'm at, and I'm a people person like that. Where some people do shy away and they tend to stay within their comfort zone. I'm one
Hmm.
that always tries to jump outside of my comfort zone, and it kind of seems to work for me. I seem to fit right in, not to toot my own horn, but toot toot. But yeah, so
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I know for me, and beliefs, do you have any core beliefs that you hold as far as when it comes to life, business, or anything in general that you they're just beliefs, that principles that you just value, and that's the way you run your life, your business? Do you have any of those you could share?
yes, definitely. One is honesty, which I think everybody should have that just in life in general, but definitely in business. You should just always be honest and true to who you are. Don't feel like you have to fit the crowd or fit the mold, or, that's always been one of my just beliefs, and especially in business and especially in coaching and what it is that I do. And I tell even other coaches that I've worked with, I even work with clients that are coaches now, and I tell them, and they've even opened up to me and said they felt like being a financial coach, they had to dress a certain way, speak a certain lingo and be the mold of whatever, and they felt uncomfortable. They didn't really enjoy their job. And especially with coaching and consulting and things like that, you have to be true to who you are, be honest to who you are. And like I said, your story, your passion, your purpose will attract your tribe. So definitely honesty and just being you in your business would be my number one thing, because that, people feel that, if they feel like if you're not being honest about something, there's an energy there that they feel that as well, and your message isn't getting across, and it doesn't make it as joyful as it should be.
Awesome. Now, the next question I have is kind of like on mindset and stuff like that, right? Because I know most individuals who do start businesses, there's two sides to it, right? So there's the techniques, which is, hey, here's what you do, and but then there's the mindset of like, okay, how are you performing? Who are you? Um, what's going on inside of you mentally? So, what are your thoughts on?
Mhm.
Because I know most individuals, I've kind of worked with several individuals, with whether it's getting the business started or whatever. And a typical theme I see is that there's for someone to evolve, right? Just from my perspective, there's a resistance. There's some type of thing that they need to face that they haven't faced. And some, I realize there's some individuals who, when they approach life and business, they're just looking for that comfort zone, which is, I just want to find the comfortable thing. I just want to kind of be me and do this thing this way that feels good. And what's your take on that? Is that how, what, I guess, what's your take on success? Is success something that you find a place where you fit in, or is it something that you want it, but there's going to be some hurdles that you have to face those hurdles to get to it? How do you define it? How do you find the success?
Well, I definitely believe that there's hurdles in success that you have, but my definition personally of success, I tell people, is doing what you love and finding somebody to pay you for it.
Uh-huh.
So that is my definition of success. But mindset is huge, even within my coaching and what I teach. Um, for instance, I did a training the other day, and I was talking about how we are blocking our financial blessing, not even knowing it, because I feel that as we were little, we're constantly, that's when our mind was programmed around money, whether it was the lack of money or money came easily and effortless to you, or you had to work hard for money. For instance, one of my stories since I was little was you had to work hard for money. My mother, my father, they worked hard. And then when they would go and spend money, it seems like we were always cutting coupons. And it wasn't that we were lacking, but that's just what my money story was, is you have to work hard for money, and the money that you get, you definitely kind of want to be stingy with it a little bit. When I worked with my business coach and my mentor, that was one of the things I had to address in my life, that you don't have to work hard for money. And I say this all the time, I'm big on affirmations, I'm big on meditation. One of my affirmations is money flows to me easily and effortlessly. And I can honestly say, since I've really changed my story, my mindset, the way that I thought about that, I would have a new client call me like this. I would have a check coming from just somewhere, and money would start flowing to me. So I'm very huge on our money story and what it is that we say to ourselves on a consistent basis. Because I tell everybody, everything we do in life absolutely starts in your mind. You know the quote, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you are probably right. So it all starts in your mind, and really rewiring that and really changing that story to fit you.
Good. Now, what about inspirations? Do you have any inspirations as far as people you've kind of learned from and those different pieces?
Yes, my big three inspiration. Well, I have many. Well, I do have a lot, but my main ones is, as far as speaking, Les Brown. That is my man. Les Brown, Zig Ziglar, Jim Rohn. Those are my huge motivational speakers. Those are who I get a lot of my inspiration from. And then personally, my grandmother, rest her soul, she's not here anymore, but she has really made me who I am today. My grandmother, I had my aunt, who my Aunt Percy, who was really behind me. She was always an inspiration, always motivating, things like that. And I tell people, I believe you should always have a mentor. You should always have somebody that you look up to, somebody that can challenge you when you don't feel like challenging yourself, but also believing in you and you letting you know that you could do that. Those are just a few of mine.
Yeah, yeah. What's the biggest lesson your grandmother taught you?
Oh my goodness, is to always stick up for myself.
Hmm.
She always has told, yeah, she told me that, and another one was to be a leader and not a follower.
Hmm. That's good.
That
That's
was one
good.
of her things she said all the time. Yep.
Yeah, I love it, love it. Yeah, I'm the same way as well. So I know those guys, the Jim Rohns, the Wayne Dyers, the Zig Ziglars. These guys have been. I think I started my journey. The first experience I had of who I think it was actually Brian Tracy. I remember being in Okinawa,
Mhm.
Japan, driving because I was in the U.S. Marines in Okinawa, Japan, and driving when I was like maybe 21 years old. And I got in the car with one of my bosses, and at the time I was like into rap music, doing all these different types of things. And when I got in this guy's my boss's car, he was like listening to a guy speak. I was like, what's going on? Like, what is this? This is like so weird. I've never experienced that before. So I remember getting out of the car, going to my friends, and like we were like laughing about it. Up until the point I realized, oh, that's called personal development, personal growth, and that's when it hit me like, whoa. But I think was it Brian Tracy and Zig Ziglar and Jim Rohn? Like I listen to this guy so much, like it's like there's a tape going on in my head over and over and over again, which is pretty fascinating. In terms of I guess the final question I
I
have
think
is,
really quick.
oh, go ahead, go ahead.
No, laugh at you really quick while I was laughing, because not at you, but with you, because that was me. Like, I was one that was bopping to something I shouldn't be listening to. And I was like, why do these people listen to like audiobooks? And like, I would think that was just the craziest thing. And now it's crazy because if you get in my car, that's what I'm listening to is a Les Brown, Brian Tracy, Zig Ziglar, and my brother and my, my younger cousins. They're like, yeah, you're losing it, Mia. So I, I
Yes.
can absolutely relate.
Yeah, it's like a totally different breed, and that's one thing I found as well too. Once you become successful, you start valuing that stuff because you start realizing that a lot of what you put in your head, that's really the whole with success. It's like it's a conversation in your head. Like when you get into situations where there's tough situations, things that don't go your way, like how do you respond? Are you someone who's gonna be negative about it, or are you someone who's going to be an optimist and say, okay, what do I have? And I realize the only way you get to making those good decisions is you need that good stuff playing in the first place. If you don't have that, I think what was his name? Zig Ziglar. He said, um,
Yeah,
like motivation isn't permanent, but neither is bathing. So that's why I recommended a daily dose of it.
exactly. Absolutely. You go days, you'll start stinking again. So
Yes.
you have to consider your mind with that. Absolutely.
Yeah. So tell us, what do you got going on? What are you up to these days? Do you have any events? What are you up to?
Well, right now, I'm definitely still running my program from powerless to impactful for those who want to use their passion and purpose and really make an impact with that, whether it's through speaking, coaching, like I said, retreat leading.
Hmm.
I'm definitely selling my book, excited about that. That was released February the 1st, so that's a new baby of mine. The How to Discover Your Life's Purpose After 30. Super excited about that. Doing a lot of coaching online, and hopefully I'll be able to open the studio up again here soon. So
Hmm.
and another thing, which is, we were supposed to be in Costa Rica this past month with a women's retreat. So we had to postpone that, but I have no doubt we'll be back once all this settles down. We'll be back in action.
Yeah, pretty exciting stuff. Now, if someone wanted to get in touch with you, what's the best way to reach out?
Yes, so the best way to get in contact with me, I tell people all the time, you can find me on Facebook. My group there is BU with Mia Coaching. You can absolutely send me an email, buwithmia.lifecoach@gmail.com. Those are two of the best ways to contact me directly, is that way.
Hmm. And I know you mentioned
Mhm.
something about your book. Do you have anything about, you said something about giving away a book or something? Was that right? Or am I just making this up here?
No, I would, and I actually have a copy right here.
Awesome.
So if anyone's interested in it, How to Discover Your Life's Purpose After 30. What the fudge am I here for is the title of it. I absolutely want to offer that to one of your listeners, your guests, and I'll leave that up to you as to how you would like to distribute that out.
Mhm.
So they can, I don't know if you want to run a contest or whatever it is you want to do, and you let me know, and I'll send that to one free copy out.
Perfect. I love it. Love it. So we'll definitely figure something out. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, Mia. Well, hey, it's been a pleasure chatting with you here today. Before we end, do you have any final thoughts to share?
I just want to tell people, I tell this all the time. If you feel like you should be doing something more, listen to that intuition. I always say that we're one of the species here that just will not listen and not go outside of that comfort zone. So go outside of that comfort zone, rock it out like a boss. You got this. You can do it.
Love it. Love it. Appreciate it. Well, hey, thank you so much for making the time to be here. It was a pleasure catching up with you, and we'll be in touch, okay?
Absolutely. I really do appreciate it.
Awesome. You're welcome.